What's going on, everyone? We're on day 2 of our videos here, trying to get everything in depth. So last time we did the 4 nozzle kit. Today we're going to end up doing our spreader. So we want to go over the spreader capacity, the auger system, the difference in the spreader plates, how to change out the augers. There's different size augers based on flow and like seed sizes, things like that. The waste sensors, we'll show you where all those are. Look at this thing. So just as comparison, this T100 spreader, if you set it next to a T40 folded up, the spreader tank is the same size as the T40. This is 150 liters on this, carrying capacity of 220 pounds, which is absolutely insane. So literally double a T50. T50's max was 110. So Donovan got the spreader set back up on our little trailer. We're just kind of use it as a platform here.
Yeah, so we got a whole new spreader system. It's massive, it's awesome, holds 220 pounds. It looks way more complex, but actually digging through it, we found out it's a lot simpler. So we'll start off with the new auger system here, which is replacing the old style spreader gate, the large and small gate. So this is our new gate with a new auger system. So it comes with a large one stock. This is the medium one. It also comes with the spreader in the spreader box. So we'll show you guys how to swap those out. So they actually added some weigh sensor. Old systems had 3. The liquid tank and the spreader tank sat in the same place. This one now has 4 weigh sensors, but they're different. So up at the top here, these are kind of a hanging weigh sensor, and the tank actually moves a little bit in here. It's got some wiggle to it. So there's two hanging weigh sensors there, and on the front side, I guess it would technically be the back side, there's 2 pads down here on this running bar. Pad here, pad on that side.
Okay. Now lifts up off of that. Looks like they just set on it.
They do. It'll lift right up off of them.
Perfect.
Yep, and they're numbered 1 and 2. Good. It's got its own built-in light, 75 watt light up front, LED. It's pretty easy to see from across the field in daylight. It's really bright. Yep. As far as the plug goes, just like the sprayer, you set the tractor on top. It's the same plug, 1 plug. Big pins so you can't mess it up. Yep.
Easy that is.
Super easy. We'll keep this one out. We'll put the other one back in just for purposes, but we'll show you how to take that out. Literally a minute long. So it just has these 2 clamps on the back, kind of like small arm locks. You open them up, they pop off right here, and this comes out. That's how that works. So you just have to separate the auger from the motor here.
So you don't have to disconnect the motor?
No.
Okay.
Nope. And that just comes out.
Okay.
Couldn't be simpler. On this side, it's just circular.
Okay.
That has to go into a pin on the far side of the spreader.
Okay.
But you do have to connect the auger to the motor first.
Okay.
So the process of going back in is set that about halfway in, get the motor on here, and it kind of wiggles. You'll feel it seat right there. It is seated right there, and you can hear the motor turn.
Okay.
And then as this goes in, you kind of have to put upward pressure on it for it to slide into the back side there. Sometimes you got to wiggle it. Right there it goes.
Okay.
Put the hook back on each side. Clamp it down. You're ready to rip.
We're going to go through and do a calibration on each. Obviously you have to calibrate it just like you would anything else. So we are going to get it on a pallet that we made and cut a hole in, get it outside. We're going to throw some seed in it, hold it up with a skid steer, and that way we're going to calibrate it and see what the calibration process looks like and get that video on here so you guys can see what the calibration looks like. So as we are getting ready to go out and do calibration, one thing that we want to do is make sure we take our spinner disc off. If the spinner disc is not taken off for calibration, it'll fling it all over the shop, and we don't want that.
Yeah, so they actually simplified it by 1 step here. We can just go ahead and lift this up on its end. This is technically the front, would be the front of the tractor, and this is the back end. You just lean it up, and it'll rest right on the landing gear here, so it doesn't touch any of the system.
Oh, so yeah, already different. We have stainless steel all the way around, which is pretty nice.
Yep.
Everything else looks the same, cotter pin and everything else.
I kept the cotter pin here. Still reverse thread. It's got a little arrow down there for unlock, so righty loosey. Spin that off, and the disc just pops off.
Cool. So yeah, easy. Very different in comparison. So you got a 41 right there, I think, don't you?
Yep.
Down, yeah. So
yep, this would be the 40 disc here on top. The 50 disc was the same, just these were curved.
Yep, curvature to it. So the size isn't a whole lot different between the two. I mean, maybe barely, if at all.
Half-inch in diameter bigger.
The biggest thing is its flinging system and its mount point. Its mount point is obviously much heavier. Looks like a hex.
It is a hex in there.
So that goes right back on. Looks like this is a nice hex, and then you can see our auger inside, and right here is where that pin is, where that auger. So we'll leave that off to take this. We just made and got a hole cut in so we can lift this up. Skid steer, we're gonna lift that up, put 150 pounds in, whatever, and go through the calibration process. We're gonna calibrate just straight rye because that's pretty much what we do for most of our cover crops that we're doing. We do 1,000 or 2,000 acres of cover crops.
Something else inside here, so let me get this down. So on the old system, how it would trigger its return to home when it was empty is on top of the spinner motor was another spinner, and it would spin when it was empty. Down here we have a new one. It's just this little flap on the side here that will spin. And as soon as that spins, it will trigger its empty and return to home function. Same idea, just different spot. Simplified the whole thing, which I really like.
Good. So yeah, we'll toss it on the pallet, get it outside, get the tractor mounted on it, get it up in the air with some seed in, and see what she looks like. So we're gonna go ahead and walk through the calibration process now. Most guys kind of already know how to do this. Essentially, you're gonna put seed in, do a product calibration. So you'll do it for different products, whether you have a blend or just a straight product, whatever it may be, and you want to do a material management for each one. So that way, when you go to the field, you click on which one you're using, make sure you have the correct auger in, and then it's already pre-calibrated, or if you have to do it out at the field, you can do that as well. It just makes it accurate when you're out spreading. So go through and look at it here. This is just the system on. Click on it, it'll have all of our items over here, which we won't be using any of that, so it won't make much of any difference. So we're going to go over, if you're just on your main blank screen, and we'll go ahead and show you how to get into that. So we're going to go to our settings, and we're going to want our spreader settings, and then material management. So what we've already done is we did our calibration, we did a weigh sensor, so we tared it to 0, we did our empty tank calibration, so the drone knows it's empty, and it sits at 0 out of 220 pounds. So we'll go back, and now we want to do our material management. So on this material management, this is where you're going to add new material. You'll go through just like on the 40s, 50s, 30s, everything you added material. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And on this shows all the different augers like we were talking about earlier. So actually, because of this page, we actually swapped our auger. This page is actually really nice. So the extra large screw is the one that comes in it. And you also have the medium. The medium one calls, it can do 20 to 106, 107 pounds per acre. So instead of trying to use our extra large auger, trying to do 60 to 100 pounds to the acre, where it should be way at that bottom end, so that auger just barely be spinning, that makes it so it's not very accurate. You actually want something to have more variation, so you can speed up, slow down, and get up to that really fine tune, where one revolution or 1 or 2 RPM might be a difference of 5 or 6 pounds over here, 1 RPM might be half a pound over here. So you can really adjust things and get them fine-tuned. So we actually switched back to our medium screw feeder. So that's what we are going to use. And click next. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add material until it's reading at least 44 pounds. We have a bag of straight rye out here that we're using. I think it's 80 pounds, I think is what we said was in there. So Donovan will just throw some in there, and then we'll get ready to throw it up on the high-low or on the skid steer, and then run it through the bottom. So we got all set up here. So we just threw a hole in a pallet, so it's set up. We got our 80 pounds inside. We clicked our medium auger, and then we're going to go ahead and make sure we have 45 pounds, which we have 78 pounds in. No problem there. So we'll do that, and we'll push start. And now all it's going to do is auger out in different increments. So start out slow, and then it works its way on up as it's going. So keep going out of there. It's doing its calibration. You want to make sure your drone's held really still during this. It's using the scales to know how much payload it's taking out during its revolutions. So it's almost finished up here. Let's see if it'll finish up before the payload runs out. It shouldn't have any issue. See it running. And it looks like it went through and calibration completed. So that looks pretty darn good, and we're just going to save that. I think we're going to save that to probably just rye medium or something like that, rye medium screw. That way we know that our screw is the medium one inside of it, so we know that before we even get out to the field or whatever. We just know, okay, yep, we're going to use rye, we're going to use our medium one, throw it in real fast, and we're ready to go. All right, we're going to make a quick spread pattern or just go out and spread what we just loaded and calibrated, so see how accurate things are. Side spreading. So side spreading, side spraying, and when it turns around, it leaves your outside auger or outside spray nozzle on. During the spreading, when it's turning around, it leaves your in this case corkscrew running a little bit. In the 50-40 model, it left that, or in the 50 model, it left that spreader gate open just a little bit as it's turning. Go ahead and select our material, and our material, like we used before or that we just calibrated, is going to be our rye, our medium. And we'll just set it to, let's say, 60 pounds to the acre. We like to set ours about 900 RPM. We'll go, let's just do a 45 feet per second flight speed. And we're 25 foot off canopy, 25 foot spacing. That should be easy, no problem whatsoever. So that one's all set. So this drone's set. It's going to take off, fly straight out to our start point. Go ahead and finish up, and then come back and land here. We're going to push our start button. We're in hill and orchard mode. Our connecting route, everything is set the way that we want it to be. And then we can just go ahead and slide to take off. Any other questions, anything else you guys want us to take a look at, dive into, parts, pieces, whatever the case may be, give us a shout, let us know, and we'll be sure to get into them. See you guys on the next one.